He could have been in different company, the guy. The others. I don't see Murakami, I don't see Moro, Ikimoto. No. I only see two faces I know in there. Picture.
So this is all.
Okay.
Okay. So these were.
Yeah. This is
So you knew a lot of the people
that's
that
the
were.
ticket in Fort Snelling, Minnesota. Yeah. Well, anyway, let me continue on. We got on board the ship and left for Japan in August. And then the official surrender took place on September the 2nd on Missouri, USS Missouri. By the way, on August the 13th when they died, August the 15th, Emperor Hirohito announced Japan's surrender. That is VJ Day. 2 days later,
Wow.
the war ended. So my friends died 2 days before the end of the war. Okay, now we got on board the ship to head towards Japan. We hit some outskirts of a typhoon. Oh, I'm telling you, it was horrible. Bouncing all over the place. Then we got into Tokyo Harbor. We waited until the surrender negotiation was complete. That was September the 2nd. We were further down and waiting. As soon as they gave us a word to go ahead and land, the ship moved forward, docked, you know. There was a dock over there, so we docked, got off the ship. There were already trucks offloaded. We got on the trucks, headed towards Tokyo.
Wait, where did you dock? Which area?
On September 2nd,
No, which area?
Yokohama.
Yokohama. Okay.
We landed at Yokohama. The surrender took place in Tokyo Bay. I don't know exactly where, but it's hard, you know, because I was in a troop ship.
Mm.
But we headed towards Yokohama. Tokyo is further up, Yokohama is down this side. So we got off Yokohama and headed towards Tokyo. As you travel towards, as you rode on the truck going towards Tokyo, the place called Kawasaki, you couldn't see one single building standing for miles, flattened out. It's because they had a firebomb. They dropped the incendiary bombs, burned out all the houses. Nothing left standing for miles. You see nothing. You know, almost like an atomic bomb they hit them.
Mm-hmm.
Finally got in Tokyo, and we headed right near the Imperial Palace because there was a moat there, you know, the palace moat.
Mm-hmm.
And they dropped us off at an empty building called the Ministry of Finance. Japanese call it Okurasho. We got in there, put a duffel bag in there. There's nothing in there. No desk, no bed, no furniture, no nothing. So put our bags down on the floor. Then I look around, where the hell the toilet? Where is the shower? Nothing. So I looked outside, there's a court outside. One of the guys who went ahead told us, oh, the court is where you're gonna take a shower. There's a pipe out there. I mean, in the open where everybody can see us. Well, my friend Kamashima told me, hey Art, you and I going to town, see if we can find a full house, bathhouse. So we had a rifle, a hail steel helmet, and an ammunition clip. We headed into town. We came upon the sign that said Furo, so my friend Kamashima went in first. He says, So the old man says, can we take a bath here? He said, yeah. And he gave him 100 yen. He said, is this money all right? He said, that money is good. Then he struck me. All of a sudden, I had a bunch of 100 yen notes. Because in the Philippines, we came across this captured train, and one of the car filled up with stacks of boxes of yen notes. At that time, we just grabbed a handful and put it in a backpack. I said to myself, if the money is good, wow, I could buy this full house easy. But anyway, he went in first, I stood guard. He came out, I went in, took a bath. It's the first bath we ever had in weeks. We used to take a bath in the Philippines by rainwater, you know that? Rainwater. There's no shower, we go out in the rain. Or we used to get canvas, whatever canvas we can find, and then let the water drip down the tent into a little hole with canvas in there. There was a tub. Our tub was really a helmet. Scoop the water from that, use that, strip naked, splash water over you, soap yourself, and with the rest to wash yourself down, you rinse yourself. You're gonna need 2 helmets full of water to take a bath. That's how we did. So anyways, we had a nice bath after several weeks of not having a bath. Well, there's nothing new. In combat, you do that all the time. And we headed, trying to get back to our quarters, but we can't find our quarters because we don't know where it's located. It was already dark. Then we came across a lighted place. It's called, there's this big sign, there's a Daiichi Hotel. Well, walked up there, there was a Caucasian guy in uniform. On his left shoulder, there was a band up there, a correspondent. That means he's a news reporter. Walked up to him and said, hey buddy, you know where Ministry of Finance building is? He said, I don't know, I just got here. Well, he says, but I can help you guys. How? He said, I'll let you guys stay here overnight. Hey, can you really do that? I said, yeah. It's okay. So he goes in, arranged for us to sleep. We each had our own room. I go in there, take off my clothes, lie on the bed, my leg is dangling on the edge of the bed. It's so small, you know, made for Japanese. But it was a bed. Never had a bed in months. Then the next morning, climb up on the roof and look around. Oh, there's the Emperor's Palace. Oh, there's the moat. Oh yeah, we head out in that direction. So we headed out, we found the place. Then about a week later, they transferred us to a place called NYK Building, Nihon Yusen Kasha Building, or the Japanese shipping company. Anyway, we took over that building, and they had furniture, they had cots there, so we could sleep in them. And right across was the Emperor's Palace. The moat was right in front, the street, the moat, Emperor's Palace. Right in front of the Emperor's Palace. Can't get lost this time. And we're close to the main Tokyo station. Well, back in about November of '45, somebody came to see me and said, Sergeant, you get some Japanese asking for you. I said, I don't know any Japanese. So, oh yeah, this guy knows you, he called you by name. He says, you better go down and see him. I said, all right. I went down there.
So you got a new headquarters by the palace?
Yeah, I mentioned about Japanese.
Yeah.
Come visit me.
Yeah. So start there. I missed it. It got cut off right as you were telling that story.
Well, this guy is the guy that was a prisoner of war that I used to give cigarette every morning, and he came to thank me. and they bow down low. The lower they bow, there is more respect they pay to you. It was very, very thankful that I treated him well, and he thanked me for that. And he left. I've never seen him after that. And then, I remember this though, as I travel on a Jeep throughout the area, I see a lot of caves pockmarking the hills. So I saw on one of these caves a lady standing there working, trying to till the land so that she can plant vegetables, I guess. I walked up to her and asked her, "What are these holes here for?" She said, "Those are caves that we're going to hide in when you guys attacked us." "Oh, what are you guys going to do?" I said, "We're going to fight you guys." "How are you going to fight us?" She reached inside the cave, pulled out a bamboo spear. I said, "With this." I said, "With that, you guys won't have stand a chance. You could all be killed, Well, that's the mindset they had. The entire Japanese were ready to defend themselves to the last person. So Japan would have been devastated if we had landed in Kyushu and invaded Japan. The plan was to invade Kyushu in November of 45. It was called Operation Olympic. They chose November because that's when the hurricane season is over, typhoon season is over. Because Kublai Khan wanted to invade Japan back in the 1200 AD. Twice his fleet was wiped out, no, once rather. His fleet was wiped out by a typhoon. The Japanese call it kamikaze, divine wind. So anyway, this gal had his spear and said he's going to defend himself. And like I said, if we had landed in Kyushu fought our way through, the entire country would have been demolished. One high-ranking official from Washington said it would have been a nation without cities. It would have been completely devastated. So I saw all this pockmark through the hillside. That's all caves where the Japanese would hide. And one day I befriended a family. They asked me to come down, have dinner with them. So I said, okay. There was shortage of food, but they're going to offer, rice and tea and tsukemono, there's a pickle, vegetables. So I said, I go. So I brought them cigarettes, candies and stuff, brought them over. I said, yeah. They were very happy. Unfortunately, as we were talking, a look at the time is after 10 o'clock. The curfew is 10 o'clock. That means I can't go back, because had I gone back, I would have been arrested, So they asked me to stay overnight. So he gave me a room upstairs, put a futon, put mattress on the bottom, and 2 futons thick. One futon is maybe about 2 inches thick. When you get 2, it's 4 inches. I can't see my foot. So I lay down there, fell asleep. And I woke up in the middle of the night. I have a feeling, funny feeling, somebody's watching me. And I said, somebody's in there watching me. So I pull over the futon to one side, and I saw this old lady sitting on my left side, her leg tucked on the, sitting down with her hands on her lap, looking at me like this, gray-haired old lady, looking at me. She had a gray kimono, black stripes, looking at me like this. Leg tucked under, looking at me. Oh, jumped. I said, what the heck is this? And the thing disappeared. Well, I had a hard time going back to sleep after that. I always had a feeling that she's still in the room there. In the morning, I asked my host, I said, hey, what's with the room up there? Why? So I couldn't sleep last night. I said, you know, I saw this old lady, gray-haired lady, with a gray kimono, black stripe, sitting by my foot looking at me. Oh, they look at me. Oh, that's our mother. What do you mean, your mother? So my mother committed suicide in a room. As your mother committed suicide in a room, you put me in there? And they said, oh, you know, apologize to me, you know, if you come again, we'll let you sleep downstairs, you know. Hey, I tell you, that was a funny experience. Then, a few weeks later, my friend Clarence Miyagi went there, and the next morning he came back, he says, say, Art, did you ever stay at that house overnight? Yeah. Did you sleep in a room upstairs? I said, yeah. Why? He says, well, I slept in a room. I get a feeling there's somebody watching me. Then I pull up my futon. I see this old lady with a gray kimono, gray hair, black stripe, sitting there looking at me. I laughed and I said, you sure? He said, yes, I'm sure. I said, you too? And I left. That was the most strange thing that ever happened. Well, you know, funny thing about Japan, they're full of stories about people committing suicide. So I kind of believe that the old lady committed suicide there. Well, our occupation was very, very interesting. My friend who was in the counterintelligence corps, they wore civilian clothes, and they were actually like spies. They operated of a secret room in the back of a grocery store. And their job was to track all the communists. And a guy named Ozaka was a famous one, and they want to know who's associated with that guy and track all their friends, identify all the communists. And that was their job. They operated out of a room, secret room in the back. Interesting job they had. My job initially was to be on a review, editorial review board. There were 6 of us. There was an Australian major in charge who graduated from Tokyo University. That's the Tokyo Teidai University, Tokyo Imperial University. That's the Harvard University of Japan. Everybody tried to get in there. So this guy was sharp in Japanese, and he was in charge of this editorial review board. And I wasn't that great in Japanese. Let me tell you, I really sweat blood on that one there. I was smart. Before I attended a meeting, I called a kibe. A kibe is a person who was educated in Japan, a lot of good education in Japan, and came back to U.S. just before the war. That's called a kibe. So I got one of the kibes. I said, okay, read to me in English, tell me in English what the editor is saying. So I wrote it down, you know.
So you cheated.
If I were to translate that, I would have made a lot of mistakes. I would have spent a lot of time looking at dictionaries too. So this guy, just by reading it, told me what it meant in English, cut my time by about 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. Anyway, I noted down what it says. I said, thank you. I said, every morning I want you to do that for me. I said, okay, because I outrank him. You know, that guy was only a 2-striper. And then next morning again, editorial board, I gave my report. I was there for 1 week, and I was out of it. I guess maybe they figured I'm pretty good in Japanese, so they gave me another job. My job was to train 150 Japanese to learn to become translators. So I gave these 150 people a test. I gave them a Japanese newspaper. I said, okay, here's our editorial. I want you to translate that in English. Well, I corrected the papers. I had to divide the group to A, B, and C. A group, they needed very little training because they were very proficient. I figured 1 month training, we can let them go. B group will require maybe 3 months of training. And C group, 6 months or longer. They were almost to the point of being hopeless. Well, just before I was ready to graduate the A group, here comes a second lieutenant Caucasian officer to take over the A and B group. That ticked me off because he's taking the best, you know, and I'm taking the toughest one. Well, anyway, I control the C group. One day, this guy came to work late. I told him, why are you late? I'm speaking in English now because they have to be good in English. He says, well, it's kind of a long story. I said, I tell you what, why don't you write down in English and tell me why you were late? So he went back to the desk. A little while later, I came back, gave me the paper, standing there at attention. I read it, he says, on my way to work, I rode my bicycle and my tire lost atmosphere. And I had to fix my tire because I don't have atmosphere in the tire. So I am late, I am very sorry. I called the guy over, I said, look, what you have in a tire is not atmosphere. Atmosphere is the air around you. The air in the tire is air, not atmosphere. So you had what is called a flat tire. You understand? Flat tire. That is air, not atmosphere. So he got it. Then I got the class going fairly well, you know. And I didn't have to do too much work. I gave them assignment, correct the papers. And then if they make mistake, I bring them in and I tell them why they made a mistake. So I had a fairly easy life from that time on.
How long were you there doing that job?
All until I came home. Okay, I was there
Like a year, 6 months?
Until end of March. Almost to the end of March. So, in the meantime, I had a good friend named Danny Odemori, was stationed in Yokohama, one of my good friends. He was much older than I am, about 5 years, I guess. He was a manager of a store in Kahuku owned by the plantation before. So he knew the grocery business and all that, a business experience, I guess. One day he came up with a pillow sack full of things. He said, let's go. Go where? He said, I'm gonna peddle these things. What do you got in there? He said, I got cigarettes. I said, Dan, you're crazy. You get caught selling those things, you're gonna get caught, Marshal. I said, you go, I don't wanna go. He says, oh, got no money out. I said, you go. All right, he left. Then a couple of weeks later, he comes with a Jeep. He said, hey, let's go for a ride. Didn't ask what's in a Jeep. So he and I go for a ride. He goes into a district called the Red Light District, a place called Yoshiwara. It's a very well-known, famous, Japanese call it gay quarters or prostitution. Also prostitution. He goes through narrow streets, tooting the horn, beep, 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 yelling, cigaretto, chewing gum, cookies, cigaretto, chewing gum, cookies. I said, damn, you damn fool, you. Whoever get caught, we'll be in trouble. He said, no MPs come around here, he tells me. How do you know? I said, I know, I've been here before. Well, he sold all his stuff. In no time flat, it was all gone, especially cigarettes. They like candies too, he had candies. Then he dropped me off. I said, Dan, You can come visit me. Don't ever ask me to go with you anymore. So I don't want to get in trouble. Well, again, a few weeks later, he comes back with a 2.5-ton truck. You know how big a 2.5-ton truck is? It's a huge truck. He said, let's go for a ride. I said, oh no, I'm not going to ride with you. Well, come down here anyway. You mean you're driving this truck? He said, yep. I said, what you got inside? He said, well, first I wanted you to introduce you to my friend. This is Tom Cometa. Oh, the famous baseball player. Said, yep, that's it. And we shook hands. Cometa was famous baseball player here, and then he went to Japan to study and play baseball, and got caught in a war. He was drafted in the Japanese army, but never saw combat, so he lived through it. So anyway, he was with Dan, and then Dan showed me what he had in the back of the truck. It was full of radio receivers, radio transmitters, all kinds of electronic equipment in there. I said, what are you going to do with these things? He said, I'm going to sell them. How are you going to sell them? I said, Tom, come at a good connection. You're going to make a lot of money. I said, so long, see you later. Hope you don't get caught. Well, I learned that a few weeks later he was caught not selling goods, but he had greenbacks of money, American money. That was against Army regulation to have greenbacks with you. You can carry Japanese yen, but not greenbacks. And they were going to court-martial him. So his battalion commander says, he's my man, I'll court-martial him. Evidently, there's collusion between the commander and him, because he was in on it, I guess. He says, Dan, I'm going to send your ass home. You get enough points, I'm going to ship you home. So he got home ahead of us, 7 weeks ahead of us, and got discharged. Well, many years later, he opened up a huge supermarket in Eva. And then later on, he opened up a food basket, another supermarket. So I guess all the money he made black marketing paid off. That was Dan Yonemori, my friend. Anyway, I spent a good time to enjoy myself. We went to Atami, a resort. It's still a resort today. It's surrounded by mountains. The only way you can enter is through a tunnel, with a train tunnel. And one day Dan says, hey, we're all going to Atami, how about joining us? I said, okay. So I said, I'll meet you at Sakuragicho Station, Yokohama. I said, okay. So we're going down there. There was Dan. He had boxes of stuff, load them up on the train. Oh, what are you going to sell these things? I said, no. This is what we're going to use for provisions. To eat. I got a lot of steaks in there. Oh, okay. So we're getting to Atami. It's a resort now. We check into this hotel. We take these boxes. And a lot of meat in there. He said, told the owner there, says, we're going to stay here 3 days. I want you to cook for us using the steaks, whatever provision we brought with us. And whatever that's left, you keep. In the meantime, we give you the cigarettes, we give you all these other things. Like I was very happy. So we had a good 3 days, rest and recuperation inside this big sulfur baths, they call it, onsen. And today is a famous place, Atami Onsen. And I also visited a town in Niigata, I can't remember the name. And someone asked me to go there, so I did. I took 3 days off, went up there for the train, and it's in the Japan seaside. And I got into this town, and stayed at the person's home, but they don't have a furo. They always all use the downtown village furo. Everybody go to the village furo. So here I am, walk in the middle of the street with guitar. You know what guitar is?
Mm.
It's a clogs, wooden clogs, about 3-4 inches high. They made me look like 6'4". And then yukata, you know the man kimono? They call it yukata. And I got an umbrella because a little bit of rain. Here I am walking on the street, man. Right in the middle of the street going to Furo, and all the shopkeepers are all sticking their heads out looking at me. Who's this guy? And the yukata is up to my knees because it's built for short Japanese, you know what I mean? I look like something else walking on the street with short yukata up to my knees, big clogs about 4 inches high, and I went to Furo there. That's quite an experience. Then I was invited to Sumo Stable Master's house. At that dinner, he had one guy who was a grand champion, Yokozuna, the top man. The other guy was a low-ranking sumo wrestler, but young, much younger. And he sat next to me. And I don't remember, it was about December, it was cold. And they don't have any heat. So we sat there, drank beer and ate. And I was shivering. And this young sumo wrestler next to me got this lightweight kimono and his bare chest exposed. And he sat next to me with a leg tuck under him. I look at his leg, holy mackerel, big, thick legs, huge guy, you know, taller than me, weighed good 200 pounds more than me. Anyway, I said, oh, I'm cold, I'm shivering. Don't you guys have heat in there? And I said, aren't you cold? He looked around, he whispered to me, he says, I'm cold, but I cannot show it, my boss over there. That was a good experience going to the stable master home. I met the Yokozuna, I forgot what his name was. Yep, and then I remember going to the prefecture of Nakano just before I got discharged. The guys with high points, they go on 3-day vacation, 3-day leave they call it. We got on a cattle train, went all the way up to Nakano. That's where the Japanese Alps, that's where they had the Olympic Winter Games. We went to a place called Akakura Kamko Hotel. It's a ski resort. And we got on bottom of the hill. We can't go up because it was at night. So we stayed in a little the station house at the bottom. We slept there on a bench out of a pot-belly stove. It was colder than hell. Next morning, a weasel or half-track vehicle came down to pick us up. Got all the way to the top of the hill. What a beautiful hotel. What a beautiful hotel. Nice single bed for me. Nice single bed for my friend. Nice and soft mattress. And downstairs there's a huge furrow. You know, you can take a bed. Most of the other guys were Caucasians. They don't go to the furrow. Only my friend and I go to furrow. Then we had a chance to ski. I never skied in my life. But being a surfer from Hawaii, I used to surf as a kid. It's no different. You know, that you're able to hold your balance, you know how to shift. So in one day, on a master ski, I went on a regular run all the way down, maybe about half a mile run, on top, all the way down, and then I go down, the weasel pick me up and bring it back. And then we were treated like kings for 3 days, but they had a nice fireplace in a basement. And then we had a pool hall there, we played pool, a lot of those things. Then the 72 hours left and we caught the cattle train back to Tokyo. And about 2 weeks later, told us, you're getting discharged, you're going home. So we headed up to a place called Zama. And not Atsugi rather. Atsugi Airfield, that's a naval airfield. And then from there we caught the C-54, slow airplanes, took us, nearly 2 days to get home from Atsugi, Japan to Hickam. Then there was a replacement depot at Hickam. They called that Fort Kamehameha. We went there to get our discharge, and so we signed a declaration. We would not tell where we've been, what we did, what unit we belonged to. And then we got discharged. They put us on a big 2.5-ton truck, drove us to Yolani Palace, dump us off, and says, find your way home. No bands, no crowd to greet us, no nothing. You know that?
Yeah.
And going back now, going back to the prisoner, they did fire on us, you know.
Yeah.
Someone was firing at us while we were trying to get down to bring the guy down, you know. They found out the 2 guys were missing,
Oh.
so somebody started firing at us. I don't know if they could hear us, but I could hear the Japanese rifle has a distinct sound compared to American. American 30 caliber, there's 25 caliber.
Mm-hmm.
Ours just sound like pow, pow, pow. They sound like firecrackers. Crack, 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 you know. So I knew they were Japanese firing at us.
Mm-hmm.
We could hear the bullet go psh, psh, psh,
Yeah.
firing overhead, you know. They must have spotted us because they were firing at us. I forgot to mention that.
But you didn't have to engage them? You didn't engage them? You were able to get away?
Oh, jump. What for?
Yeah.
Why should I engage them? What if there were about 100 guys up there?
No, I mean, you know, I don't mean you by choice engage them, meaning you had to because they surrounded you.
No, we don't want to expose our position and fire back.
Yeah.
When you fire back, you expose your position. They will, you just fire wildly, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
But I forgot to mention that. I hear the thing go one word. Several of them get pretty close. Spitting noise. They're really close when you hear that. One more thing is that when we were down on the hill, way down, one with the battalion headquarters, the Japanese were firing the artillery, you know, towards the battalion area. But you can tell whether the cannon is away from you, the shell is away from you coming at you by the sound.
Mm-hmm.
If it's traveling away, it has a whistling noise. Pew, you know,
Mm-hmm.
boom, pew, boom. But when the shells are coming at you, it makes a different noise. It goes, you know that. Then you pass out them, boom, you know. So the sound of cannon and sound of rifle, you can tell. So when I think about all those things, yeah, we really hadn't it that bad, but some of our other friends that were engaged, they were really in the thick of it, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
Some were in Iwo Jima,
Oh.
some were in Saipan, some made landings in New Guinea, Wakte, Buna, New Hollandia, north of New Guinea, Aitapia, New Guinea, Biak, all around there, all intelligence were there. Then they were at Leyte. A Leyte guy named Frank Anchia. they made him go ahead and land ahead of the invasion force. His mission is to note all of the fortification, Japanese fortification, and then put it on a map and report it back when the invasion force landed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he got the information, but when the invasion forces start to land, he started to head back towards their own force. They mistook him for Japanese. They shot him. He got hit in the liver.
Wow.
But he crawled. He crawled about 100 yards, And he told them who he was, don't shoot. Then he pulled out a map and told his lieutenant, here's what I found. He showed all what the Japanese fortifications were. He passed it on,
Mm-hmm.
Shortly after that, he died.
Wow.
Yep. He won the Distinguished Service Cross for that. It was from Hood River, Oregon. And the unfortunate part is that his name was on honor roll in Hood River town. They took him out because they were Japanese. And there was a big stink made about it by people who knew about this guy. They had to put his name back on the honor roll.
Mm.
It was a Distinguished Service Cross.
Yeah.
You don't get Distinguished Service Cross for nothing.
Well, I think I'll go to bed.
Okay. Good night, Grandma.
Okay.
Then you had another guy named Yasui. This is in Burma. He was a kibe, person who was educated in Japan.
Okay.
He knew the language very good. He was a gutsy guy too. He had a Japanese colonel's uniform on his head with a sword and everything. Swam across the river, changed into the Japanese colonel's uniform, put the sword on, marched into enemy camp, and he yelled, I am Colonel Yamamoto of the Japanese Imperial Army. In Japanese it says, 俺は日本帝国軍の少佐です。Not 少佐、大佐です。That's full colonel. And he says, 日本は戦争を負けた。That means Japan lost the war. みんな降参せよ。That means we must all surrender. Well, two soldiers didn't want to surrender. They were ready to throw a grenade, but the other soldiers shot them. They believed it. The guy. Another one pulled a pin, but the thing exploded and killed him. But the remaining guys, he made these guys build a raft. And then, with him on board the raft, they pushed the raft across the river and surrendered.
Wow. How many people was that?
He got Silver Star for that.
How many people did he get to surrender?
About a dozen.
Wow.
Yeah, about a dozen. That's one. But there's another guy named, I forgot his name, Okino? I forgot his name. In Saipan, he had to climb on the side of a cliff, rappel down into a cave, because there were a lot of civilians in the cave. But he had bought himself a lot of sea rations, He walked in the cave, he told them in Japanese who he was. He says, I want you guys to have some food here. Give them, say, Minna, suare, told them to sit down. Let's talk. He told them, look, I want you guys to release the civilians and give up because no use, you guys are surrounded, They didn't want to give up. And he told them this, and they asked him, why are you fighting for the Americans? You're Japanese. He said, I'm an American. And he says, you know what filial piety is? I think Japanese call it oyakoko, filial piety. You know what it is, yeah? Respect your parents.
Mhm.
Okay. And it says, I have two choices. Respect the emperor or respect my father. Who are you going to respect most? Your emperor or your father? Me, I follow my father. My father said, fight for your country. So you guys are fighting for the emperor. You never remember that. Then they remember, about stuff like this. They kind of changed their mind. And they gave them all the sea rations. They ate. They spent 4 hours talking to them, trying to convince them to give up. Finally, after 4 hours, he emerged from the cave, rappelled up the rope. 120 civilians came out. Half a dozen Japanese came out of there.
Wow.
Gave up. And he won the Distinguished Service Cross for that effort. That's guts. I have a friend named, he was a doctor, medical doctor after military service. Anyway, he was in Iwo Jima. He used to go in the cave and trying to make the Japanese give up. And flush them out of there. He got the Bronze Star Medal for that. And there are many, many things like in Wokde, New Guinea, my friend Kyo Fujimura from Kauai, and a guy named Terry Mizutari from Kohala, Hawaii. They made an amphibious assault landing. You know what amphibious assault landing? You get on a landing craft, hit the beach, drop down, go forward.
Yeah.
We're in on that. The first night, pitch black, Kyo was telling me the story. He says, boy, he said, I'm in a foxhole. The Japanese are crawling towards the foxhole, So whatever you hear rustle noise, you start firing, Then all of a sudden there was a lot of firing going on. And he said, terror stood up to fire and he heard a pop. He fell on top of him. He felt a warm liquid all over him that he knew he was hit, he was dying. He said he went almost out of his mind because he got fall on him as his buddy, But Terry Mizutara, before that happened, did some act of bravery where he got a Silver Star Medal before he died. Kyo also won a Silver Star in Luzon, Philippines. I saw him in Tokyo. When I saw his Asiatic Pacific campaign ribbon, it shows an arrowhead device, gold, arrowhead. If you get a star, that's a battle star. If you look at Grandpa's, it's one battle star I got. Well, he had 3 battle stars. In 3 different campaigns, and they had 1 arrowhead. So he made the landing, that's why he got the arrowhead. But in Luzon, this is what they did. He was a sergeant, staff sergeant. They made him put on American captain's uniform, 2 bars. And he and another guy, a major, went up the mountains near Baguio, where General Yamashita headquarters is. He went to the Japanese and he talked to the Japanese. He says, hey, the emperor has surrendered. I want to talk to General Yamashita, in Japanese. They don't believe him. They won't let him through. He told them Japan surrendered already. Well, he said, okay, you guys don't want to let me through. I'll be back in a few hours with Prince Shichibu. That's the emperor's brother. He's there right now to talk to you guys if you guys don't let us through. As soon as he said that, the guys said, come back. And let him through. He went in, went to General Yamashita, delivered the mail for him to surrender. Waited for his report. He got his letter back. They had to wait. I brought the letter back. That took guts, that? Japanese were ready to fire him. They got a Silver Star for that.
Wow.
And in the letter that General Yamashita wrote, General Eichelberger received the letter, and he said he couldn't believe how polite and gentlemanly the letter was. It was a beautiful letter, he said. He couldn't believe that here, this guy is known as the Tiger of Malaysia, known for his cruelty, writes such beautiful letters, you know, so polite and courteous. He said, just like day and night, he says, you know, I can't believe it. Well, anyway, Kyo did that. Now, like I said, when the war ended, all my military intelligence friends were coming in from all over the Pacific. China, Burma, India, from the Philippines, from all over, they're coming in. And we meet in Tokyo, over beer, we drink beer, and we talk war stories, you know. That's where I got all the stories from this guy Kyo about his experience. Then I met Rafael Puku, a well-known guy in Hawaii. He was a lieutenant in the outfit. They call that the OSS detachment, Office of Strategic Services, which is a precursor to the CIA. He was jumping behind enemy lines in Burma, working with the Kachin warriors of Burma. And then there were like insurgents, you know, attacking the Japanese troops behind the lines and running away. Well, the Japanese found out who he was, so they put up a $20,000 price tag on his head. They know who he was. So one day when he jumped behind the enemy lines, he's up on a hill, his parachute got caught in the trees, he says. He's trying to cut himself with a knife, the cords. You could see down the hill, the Japanese coming up the hill. Barely cut it and ran, he says. He almost got caught. Japanese don't take prisoners, you know. He cut the head off. That's why all the officers carry a sword. That's the purpose, you know that? That was Ralph M. Puku. Then there were my friend Russell Kono, who was a retired judge. And he told me this, that he was with the Barrows Marauders. And they were fighting behind enemy lines, you know that, in Burma. A guy named Roy Matsumoto, he was on TV the other day. He showed the guy, you know, with Barrows Marauders. Roy was educated in Japan, so his Japanese was outstanding. One day he crawled towards the enemy, close enough to hear the conversation. He heard them discussing about next day's plans, where they're gonna hit, you know, and the time they're gonna hit. So he crawled back, made this report, and the Barrows Marauders were waiting for him at the right location. And then it was all shown on TV too, exactly what one of the Marauders, the Caucasian guys, narrated. He said, Bob Matsumoto all of a sudden stood up, yelled at the Japanese, charge, charge! And Japanese troops stood up and charged. And they mowed them down, you know.
Wow.
And when they're down again, he yelled, charge, down! Tenno heka banzai, tochugeki seo! Means, hail to the emperor, charge, you know.
Yeah.
Use the word, Tenno heka banzai, tochugeki seo! Japanese stood up again, they charged, mowed down again. So, Matt, I'm telling you, don't call us interpreters. We were not interpreters. The only time they interpreted was in war crimes trial. That reminds me of a story this guy told me. He said, at the war crime trials, he was an interpreter, he says. Okay? That's the only time they use them, you know, interpreter. And he interpreted this trial of an admiral somebody. And this admiral says, perfect Oxford accented English, he says. Young man, your interpretation is wrong. It should mean this way. This guy was educated in England, in Oxford. So I said to myself, thank God I don't have to go to war crime trial because I have no use. I'm not that good at Japanese, you know that. I can speak enough to get by. I could read enough to get by, but I rely heavily on a dictionary, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But don't ever call us interpreters, because I had friends who died in combat, right? I've been shot at. I know what an artillery shell sounds like. Many of us fought in combat, but when we came back, they still call us, oh, you're an interpreter. Dad, even grandma called me that, oh, he was an interpreter. Everybody said that. We were not interpreters. We were in combat. We were military intelligence specialists. So you see, you know, the bedroom over there, you see that presidential unit citation,
Mm-hmm.
given to us. You gotta do a good job before a president will give you presidential unit citation. I got one of them. So that's my story of a wartime experience, Matt. Then I have an illustrious career after that, you know.
Okay, this tape is almost done.
Yeah, but that is in my written story that I'm writing. And if you read that, you're gonna be impressed with what I did.
It's good.
I designed the entire air defense system for the Hawaiian Islands. That was my job. I was a project engineer for that. How did I get a title engineer? I don't have a college degree in engineering, but I went to engineering school, Air Force. Why? Because I had a lot of math. You know, I didn't have a calculus. I didn't get that far, but I had enough to get by. Like vector analysis, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All you need is basic algebra, trigonometry, vector analysis, some bit of quadratic equation. But because of that, I was able to attend the school. And then, when I went to this system engineering school, that's one step above the other one. The guy gets on a board and put down problems you gotta solve mathematically. Well, I knew how to use the slide rule, Matt. I used powers of 10 notation, you know. 1 times 10 to the power of 6 or minus 6, you understand? I used that to calculate because using a lot of 1,000 microfarad, 2 mega ohms, you know, those things. That guy get on a board, so put in the problems, and it says solve it. What is on a board, I'm noting them down on my slide rule. When he put the chalk down, I get my answers already. So he came up to me, I was on the front row in a class. He says, are you having trouble? I said, no. Why don't you figure the problem? I have the answer right here. He looked down, he goes. So next time he gets up on the board, so writing again, he finished, he come up to me, he looked at me, go. So I was very good at it, man. You know that. I was good in solving that kind of electronic problem. I was very good in especially in antennas. I could design antennas, and it's not simple, you know, because you get a lot of mathematics involved. So I designed antennas to make the system work between Kauai and us. And I really impressed the faculty of that system engineering school. They thought I was an engineer for some big civilian outfit, you know. I told them, no, I wasn't. So as a result of that, my classmates all relied on me when they had problems. One guy who was a regular Air Force captain. He was barely making a grade, passing grade. So he was warned that next test, if you don't pass it with a good, outstanding grades, you're out because you barely understand the problems. So this was a 9 months course, Matt. I finished the course in 6 months. 6 months I finished the course. So when I got through the course, the guy told me, you gotta help me. I said, okay. I told him, I said, okay, next test come up, you look for this, and this is the right answer. This is, so you better start noting them down. You know that all, I can remember about 70% of the, you know, maybe more than that. Months later, I came home in December now. In about July of the next year, I got a letter from him. He says, thank you very much for helping me. He said, I made the highest score in the class. I have tremendous memory. I can remember all the questions, you know that. Yeah. And I passed the test with flying colors, and I really impressed the faculty there. They were all, in fact, when I went to the basic engineering course, they were all electrical engineers, Matt, with BS degree, or civil engineers, or somebody with engineering degree. I was the only one who don't have that.
Wow.
But I could hold up to them, you know. We didn't have calculus, we didn't need calculus. They gave me calculus, I'd be lost. I don't know how to solve problems with calculus, because I never took a course in calculus. So that's all I have to say, Matt. Everything else is in a book.
Okay, I'm gonna stop